We're all just a lot to learn there. Praise God. Arms straight when you see it. Who does not? You gotta go find yourself one. You just have to somehow, somewhere. I don't know how that is. It's so nice because a lot of people don't have it at home. They don't have maybe their mom or dad that can kind of provide that kind of really cool intel and motivation and inspiration. So mentors are really important. And taking classes, if that's not an option, then just take classes in your neighborhood or your town or wherever and just see what other people are doing and steal it. Steal it. You can give them credit the first 10 times, after that it's yours. So steal, I'm not saying you have to be me or Shalene or Sean or somebody, but you have to, it's the delivery system. We saw what worked on stage, right? Yes. We saw what didn't. And the idea here is to sort of, because you want your clients and your people to get great results. And so you have to help them get to the edge of that envelope so that they can push a little bit hard but not get hurt, right? And your idea is to be able to deliver it in such a way so that they don't plateau, they don't get hurt. Injuries, plateaus, and boredom. And boredom is probably the number one reason why most people bail. Plateaus are just because they're doing the same things over and over again expecting a different result, right? So that's why P90X gave people such ridiculous results, because half of the stuff there or more was something they'd never seen before. All right, but we're talking about mentors, and when it comes to mentors, you just have to go to classes to people who are just, God, they're inspiring, or man, they're funny, or their personality is just somebody like, there's so many yoga classes in LA, and these yoga gurus are such boneheads. You know what I mean? They take it way too seriously, way too spiritual, which is not my thing. Maybe it is for some folks. And other ones are just playing rap music at 10,000 decibels, screaming, down dog, up dog, shut up, do it. Like, that's not yoga, you know what I mean? I don't go to those classes. I go to classes where this cat is cool, I love this vibe, I love this flow. Ted McDonald's great at that. I love Ted at that. So you just have to go find, and then you just go, what did they go home and what did they do? What did you like? Steal it. All my stuff's stolen. It's all stolen. It's all just same information delivered in a different way. Yes, my dear.
So when do you recommend that we start teaching? Obviously before we're totally ready, but at what point? It seems like I'm going to learn the most when I'm actually up there trying, but I also don't want to just be irresponsible with all the people who might show up to the class.
You know what the definition of luck is? When opportunity meets readiness. Was I totally ready when Carl knocked on my door? No, but I was ready enough to do the original Power 90 when it was kind of stiff and boring and not that, I didn't know that I could be this guy yet. I wasn't sure, so I just kind of did it my way. And the best way I knew to do was go, I watched Sally here. She did a push-up. And look at Tom. That's great form, Tom. And how? But we still sold like 5 million of them, so whatever. You know what I mean? So you have to know your program. You have to know how to cue the shit out of things. Carl always says there's nobody in the business that cues better than I do. I can create a visualization for people so they can do things even if they got 2 left feet, never had an exercise day in their life. So your cueing is important, and your sequencing is important. If you're creating a program, you can't do 5 upper body work moves in a row. Now you look at my stuff, it's usually upper, lower. Sean T is all lower, whatever, so he'll learn one day. There's 2 for Sean. Don't post that shit. Sean is a great dude. Great, one of the best. All right. So yes, Megan.
I have a question regarding nutrition. A lot of the programs that we're able to certify in might not be nutritionists. So my question is, are we able to copy the P90X required one, or not required, recommended nutrition guidelines, and kind of how much of that can we tweak,
That's many.
to be able to provide information to our clients, but then also not step over the not trained in that field?
Good question. The food thing. The food is about the health, and the fitness is about the exercise. Right? They're totally 2 different categories, but they have to live together for people to get the results that they want. So, who has a background in nutrition, certified? Okay, so who does not? So technically, you shouldn't say a damn thing about food, but you can make suggestions based on your experience. What do you think all these coaches are doing? They're making suggestions based on their experience. They're postal carriers, and they're accountants, and they're moms, and they're just making recommendations based on their experience. And if you refer to, hey, look, here's something that's worked for me. Here's something that I know that works for me. I'm not a nutritionist. I want to make that very clear from the get-go. I can't give you that kind of information. But I know if you eat whole foods and not garbage, good things are going to happen. But I've gotten to a point where I don't have a nutrition degree. But I mean, for me, I just say, what's common sense? You know, I mean, you know what healthy is, you know what unhealthy is. Eat the healthy stuff as much as you can. But the other thing is, that's the hardest part. Exercise is almost easy compared to the food discipline. There's a healthcare crisis in this country because of the food. Because everything is filled with, you know, fat, sugar, salt, and chemicals. You know, and if man's making a lot of nasty stuff, but nature's pretty much got to figure it out. So if you can figure out how to make natural foods taste good, eat them often, whether it be paleo or flexitarian or vegan or whatever it is, then you're going to be all right. And you have to encourage that food thing. And have people write down their food as a trainer. Like, just write down what you ate for a week. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Don't judge it. Just write down, you know, be specific. I had a salad. Oh, really? Was there bacon bits in there? Yeah. Yeah. So the food thing's hard if you don't have a background in it, but you can make suggestions. But you have to emphasize that. You have to say there has to be a dietary shift. And I have a nutritionist in town in Los Angeles that I send people to. She's great, she's not expensive, and when they have those real issues, go see Heather. What, maybe one more, Brian?
Yeah, last one.
Hi, I know you trained Eddie Lacy at your house.
No.
Sorry, I'm a big fan. What did you learn from that experience? Because I thought I saw that you said you were in the best shape of your life.
Well, when you're training, yeah, good question. Yeah, I don't know, maybe if you know that I had Eddie Lacy, I had a place in Jackson Hole, so we were there for 3 weeks, and we were back at my house in LA for 6 weeks. He actually lived with me. He started kind of keeping an eye on and stuff. And this past, he came back for part 2. He was in town for 3 weeks. So, you know, he's a professional athlete, so it kind of gives you how hard it is even for people who make a living at it. It's really hard. And but you know, he was a young kid, and you know, he was easy. He was a genetic freak. I mean, in high school and college. In college, he had to work pretty hard. He was Saban was his coach at Alabama, and he just put him through the ringer. They won 3 national titles, and he was Rookie of the Year, #1 pick in the NFL. Only about an inch or 2 taller than me, but just mass. But he liked he got into the NFL and he relaxed, and I don't know what they were doing in Green Bay, but it wasn't enough, apparently. And he got big, he gained some weight, and it slowed him down. And it was his 4th year of his contract, and TMZ contacted me and said, "Can you help Eddie Lacy?" So I went on TMZ and went, "Eddie Lacy, you're in, bro. What do you want to do?" And I met him in San Francisco before the Super Bowl. And that's what the Super Bowl was. And we chatted, he looked me over, and I looked him over, and we said, "Let's do this thing." So we came up to Jackson Hole, a place he's never been before, and we worked out every day, and in the afternoon we shoveled a lot of snow. We have snow shoveling contests, so I would go, and we'd go like there. He'd go, over the house. But he learned how to eat better. He learned how to train hard in different ways. And we did our balls and boxes and Monday night plyo and chest and back and ab-X and